Simplify each expression below. For each expression, draw a picture or show how you know your answer makes sense. So according to the directions, we're going to be simplifying, and we have expressions, which means we're looking for an answer as one number. Also, we're being asked to draw a picture or show how do we know our answer makes sense. So let's take a look at we need to review order of operation. So remember, what you need to do last is what I want to write first. So last, you're going to be adding or subtracting. So those could be like our connectors for our terms. Before that, you're going to do multiplication or division, and we do it from left to right if we have the same type of operations. Prior to that, if we have exponents, I don't see any exponents, but I'm going to write it as a review, like a 2 to the power of 3 will be 2 times 2 times 2. And then first, or starting, like very important, is to do anything with grouping inside the grouping symbol. So a grouping symbol will be, if it has addition, then we do that inside. So looking at example A, so let's start copying it down. If you haven't, we have 5 plus -4. So I see the parentheses, but it's not grouping anything with the -4. It just separates the adding a -4 plus 12.65. So it's all either addition or subtraction. So to start with the 5 and the -4, so on a number line, remember how I said draw a picture? If I was at 5 on my number line, which I'm partially drawing in both directions, adding a -4 means go to the left 4 units. So going to the left, what number would that be? So that's 4 units. So it will be 4, 3, 2, 1. So if I wasn't sure, so for the first two numbers, I'm still at +1. And then I didn't do anything to the other ones. I have 1 plus 12 and 65 hundredths. Now the next step is very important. When you have 1, that means 1 whole. So you don't want to add it to the decimal part. That will be wrong. You want to line up by the decimal. So I'm going to write 1 as 1 whole and 0 out of 100. So I can have the same 12.65. And if you line it up vertically, the 1 adds to the 2. So finish that problem A on your own. Also try B on your own. So pause the video. Again, you could do a little picture to show the positive negative situation. I see 0.5. So make sure every number has a 10th place so that you line them up by the decimal place. Okay, I'm going to do C. So if you haven't done the other one, stop the video. Okay, so I'm copying the problem down, and I am seeing grouping symbols. So inside the grouping symbols, I do have 2 numbers that I could add, and a little visual. If I start with -5, which is that's the first number given, adding 100 means I'm gonna be passing the 0 with 5 units, and then 95 more, so it's going to be definitely positive. So 95 more to the right, so altogether is 100 to the right. So what number would you end up with? So it will be on the positive side, and use the diagram to figure out. And then 4 parentheses really means 4 times that number that you have. And then if you need help multiplying by 4, you know, whatever that number, do it vertically or do it with a area diagram. So pause the video and finish problem C, and try D on your own. So I'm moving on to letter E in this video. So as I'm copying, I'm looking like what can I do first, what has to wait, and I'm given also a fraction or a mixed number, 5 1/2, take away 1. So looking at the plan for order of operation, we're not going to be adding 4 and 6. That will be a no-no. It has to be done last. But we would do the parentheses. So I would go there first. And what I would like you to see also, we could multiply 6 times 3 because it's separated with the addition, so that we could, it would gonna do it last, but we can copy it. So looking at the problem, I'm concentrating of plus 2, I'm copying. So what is 5 1/2 minus 1 whole? So yes, 4 1/2. Now, if you like to use decimals, or like what's the decimal of 4 1/2? We can change it if it's easier. Or 4 1/2, what you want to do is change it to a improper fraction. So remember, like 4/1 plus 1/2. I know some of you can do it without doing the work. I'm gonna help the ones that you need help. So times 2 to have a common denominator. So what we have is 8 plus 1, so 9/2. So if you want to work with that, with fractions, it will be 9/2. If you want to work with decimal, it will be 4.5. And 6 times 3 is 18. And remember, we're not allowed to add the 4 and the 6 because of the multiplication of 6 times 3. So go ahead and double the number, but change this number to either the decimal or the fraction, and continue E on your own. Okay, last problem I'm going to guide you through. Hopefully you don't need too much guidance. So as I'm copying it, I'm going to be adding or subtracting last. So I'm not allowed to add these two numbers. So I'm going to copy it. I'm not allowed to add these. So I'm going to copy it. So we have 1 mini problem, 2 mini problems, 3 mini problems. So in between the parentheses again, it's multiplication. Right over here is also multiplication. And just as a reminder, when you have a negative times positive, you're going to have a negative result here, and you are multiplying the 4 times 5. Now, once you get to positive negatives, do draw your picture of your number line so you can see which way is the final answer going to be, positive or negative. So finish this problem on your own.